Hello everyone. Quick update to my previous combo video, because I've just learned something new. And I also learned something while I was on holiday watching YouTube that I'd like to share. I'll start with that one. So I've discovered the many talents of a YouTuber called Sajam. I say YouTuber, I think he's a streamer and I think a commentator in the fighting game community as well. He's a pretty prolific guy. And he's got a lot of very good instructional videos and discussion videos that I've been enjoying quite a bit, including watching them on evenings on holiday. And one of the many things that he pointed out in the video was this trick called buffering, where basically, if you think back to my last video on combos, what I discovered is that in order to do a combo, you need to cancel an attack. Why does the game not have focus? There we go. You need to cancel that attack during that little window, that little magenta window of the hit frames. So if I want to do this, for instance, Marisa's back heavy punch into this big uppercut thing she has, I need to time it such that I press the punch button during that little window where the hit is active, and then it will cancel. And in this case, it will produce a combo. So I've learned two things about that I think are worth pointing out on their own. The one I learned from Sajam is that you can, if you're not sure your combo will hit, you can input it anyway. And the way combos work is that they only actually go off. You can only cancel a move if it hits or gets blocked. So if I hit my opponent, I can do this, right? If I whiff, I can't actually combo. But what I can do is I can input the command for the combo. So this big thing, this thing, is quarter circle back plus punch. In this case, a heavy punch. And this punch here is just back plus heavy punch, right? So if I want to combo, I need to hit them with back plus heavy punch and then do... Oh, it's not coming out sometimes. My controller, I think, has slightly started to die. So it is magnifying my own inconsistency in actually executing the inputs, I think. So I apologize if I mess them up a bit more than last time. But when I get it right, there we go. That's what it looks like. So if I do the quarter circle back plus punch during the animation of my back plus heavy punch, right? So if I just do that, if you look at the inputs on the left of the screen, you can see there's a whole bunch of arrows moving around and a second punch input, right? I'm just going to do it again. Nothing happens. If my opponent happens to be standing in front of my fist, they get slapped with a combo. Now this particular move is not particularly useful for that purpose. It just happens to be one that I happen to be playing Marisa right now. I was just messing around with some stuff in the game, and I found something, and I was like, oh my god, I have to make a video about this right now, otherwise I'm going to forget to mention it. But this was one thing I was going to mention already. The other thing that I just discovered, so I've been struggling to learn combos in general. I'm not very fast with my fingers, and I found the timing quite difficult to pick up. And this evening, I'm like pretty tired this evening, I was just like chilling out. And I was going through the character guides for a few different characters, because I don't actually know who I want to play, who I want to sort of try and learn properly. I was playing Ryu in my previous video. I do like Ryu. I think my other front runner is this person here, Marisa, who is this kind of like big mid-range character with massive buttons that are like fun to do. She's got all these like big chargeable attacks and stuff that have armor on them and things. So she's kind of like this bruiser who I think has a bit less executionally demanding moves than some of the others, but also doesn't have a crutch in the form of a projectile. And projectiles, especially in this version of the game where you can just parry them over and over, aren't like particularly dominant or anything, but my playstyle does tend towards the sit back and throw fireballs. So I've been like exploring some other options. I've been trying to learn this basic combo on Marisa. Let's see if I can do it. So she's got this double hit medium punch, and then you can combo that into this. Oops. I can't even do this. She's comboing that into this backswing thing, which then also comes with a follow-up move if it hits. You can press forward and heavy to do it again. All right. So I want to do medium into quarter circle back plus medium punch, into forward plus medium punch. And that gives you this little combo. Let's see if I can do it. Like this. And I was really struggling to get the timing right on it for a while. I did it for a bit, and then I tried some other characters, and then I came in, was doing like a CPU match and just dropping it every time. Came back into tutorial mode, couldn't get it. And I think I've just learned something that I have been getting wrong, that I think is like intuitive to do in the game, but it trips you up. So I think I've been thinking of learning the timings for button presses in combos, like kind of like a rhythm game. And there's obviously audio-visual cues for the attacks, right? You press the button, and then a moment later you hear like a punch sound, right? And there's a flash and all this stuff, right? And we learned last video, it was like 2.5 weeks ago now, 3 weeks, that those flashes and the punch sound also corresponds to the bit that you can cancel, right? Because it's the active frames of the move. But what I hadn't really intuited is that when you hear the sound, that's your cue for the next punch, right? So I'm a drummer in regular life, and when I move the stick and I hit a note, and obviously that is not that's not a zero amount of time, right? My hand has to move through the air, which takes non-zero time, and then I hit the note. But that's... How do I even explain... I'm trying to explain how I intuited the difference here, what I'm getting at. I have to move before the note I hit, right? And it's become subconscious because I've been playing drums for like 20 years. But if I want to hit the note exactly on time, I need to wind up before and move my hand before to hit it on time, right? The difference with fighting games is that I press the button and then the move comes out. And because the moves are so fast, I'd sort of mentally assumed that like my finger moving to press the button was kind of the same as my hand with the drumstick hitting the drum, right? That is, my motion is the wind up. But the move has its own wind up. I know this sounds really dumb, bear with me, okay? The move obviously has its own wind up. But with a lot of these quick moves, it's just like a few frames. Or it's some move that has a really obvious slow wind up where you kind of, I don't know, those fit differently into my brain. So what I think I've been doing is in my head, me pressing X and the sound of, Marisa hitting this guy in the face are the same note, right? But what I need to do is, this was the thing I realized today, that sound cue is the time when I need to press the next button in the combo. Like, I need to be inputting the combo one move further back from when I see it on the screen or when I hear it, which is really hard to do, I think, but it makes it much easier for me to at least figure out the timings because I can press the button and hear how quickly the sound comes out. And then I'm like, okay, so I'll try and replicate that pattern. So if I press Y, and then I'm, what is it, like a 1/10 of a second later, I hear the noise. I'm like, okay, I need to press these two kind of da-da, right? And then I get this. And then there's a little bit of a pause before the second attack because it's a bit longer, da-da, right? You can hear it comes with da-da, right? And so that second slightly delayed thing is where I need to press the third attack. I can't do that. Right? And then there's a bit of a wind-up before the follow-up from the backswing punch. So it's kind of stutter-stepped, da-da-da-da. And if I can learn that pattern, then I can execute the combo. And once I twigged that in my head, I did it like 6 times in a row without dropping it. And now, of course, I'm messing it up again because I've stopped practicing it for like 5 minutes in order to talk at a camera. But I think that will give me, personally, a route to learning combos. I think there's still a lot of stuff in this game that's beyond me, and I think knowing combos is not the only thing. Like, if you go into a match and you try and do a combo, you'll just die. What is better off is, learning how to use your normals, right? And I haven't really explored Marisa very much in that regard. The only character I really know to any great extent in that case is Ryu. Partly because I'm familiar with him from other games, and partly because I've been using mostly his moveset in the campaign. So I've got an extra 20 hours of practice with Street Fighter 6 Ryu compared to Street Fighter 6 anybody else. But like, I think it's for me to actually play games on the internet and be comfortable. What I need to do is get used to that spacing and my options for like, what if they jump at me and stuff. But the thing you can most easily learn by yourself is practicing combos, and I kind of wanted to get a taste for how executionally complicated some of the characters I like are, of which there are many. Everyone in this game is cool as hell. So that I wouldn't just hit a wall. And Marisa seems like maybe one of the more accessible of them. In terms of like, she's not as executionally complex. She has other challenges, like the hero is quite interesting, but they're more about spacing and sort of guessing games with your opponent and stuff. And that's one of the things that I want to explore most directly with the game, is just like, how do I do this? How do I actually play my opponent? I will say, I have kind of reached my goal already, in that the other day, so there's another streamer called Adam Savadan, who I've known for years. He's on a crew called Loading Ready Run, who are amazing. I've been following them for 15 years or something at this point. And he does his own streams on twitch.tv/cbats, if you're curious. And about once a week, he's been doing these sort of new player-friendly lobbies. And I thought I'd join one. And I was actually able to win a couple games against people who were, about as new as me, playing Ryu. So I now know it's possible. I haven't won a ranked match yet. I haven't played ranked yet. But I think that's kind of the next step. I think what I might do is split my sort of serious time with the game between trying to learn Marisa specifically and then maybe just playing some ranked matches with Ryu just to get familiar with playing against the human. Because I did find that aspect to be really interesting. I had a few runs against a Manon player who was much better than me. I did nearly take a match off them though at the end, because I'd sort of learned some of their patterns and figured out basic responses to them. And although my damage output was way less than theirs because I didn't have combos, and Manon is a high damage character, I was able to outmaneuver them a little bit for a bit. And then I got them down to a pixel in the third round of the fifth game or something with a super, and then got oh my god, I've nearly killed them, and then messed up and they killed me. But that experience was actually really invigorating. I loved it. So I'm actually looking forward to jumping into ranked, and I think I want to do that with both Ryu and Marisa before doing too much more, going down the path of I must learn combos, I must be good at pressing the buttons in the correct order. But just being able to have something decent to do after I've done this to them, or my opponent does a big attack and I block it, I want to hit them back. Right now my most damaging option is just throwing people. So being able to do something, just being able to do this for I don't even know how much damage that is, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, that's 20% of their life? That's pretty small potatoes for Marisa's damage output, but it's, my opponent's also going to be a novice. Their damage output isn't going to be particularly exciting either. So I think that'll, just having something nice to do will help me feel confident that I can pull out some dubs, or at least just have a good time. Which is, the main objective, right? So yes, sorry for this slightly scattered video. I have a few more videos that I need to do. I want to make some more Duelist stuff, obviously more Street Fighter stuff, and I've got another video that I'm planning as well. But I have been catching up on everything else as well since I got back from holiday, and also today I've been massively tired and stuff because hay fever everywhere. So I'll get to them soon, promise. There'll be more. But I just I realized the thing with the sound cues and doing the move one in advance and using them to help my rhythm, and realized I need to make a video about this right now. And just put it up there because I need to remember this myself. I'm going to go to bed and forget, and then find my own video on the channel in 2 weeks and be oh yeah, I should do that. But thank you all for watching. let me know if you have, if you're a Street Fighter player, you've got any tips, hit me up. I'm happy to hear them. Keep them beginner friendly, obviously, but and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, everyone.